So let's see what's coming up. Judgment is usually a card about, it's a card about, the spiritual fire that burns away old stories of the past. You can see in this picture, these are like gray people, gray souls. So they're kind of represented as having been dead. They're rising from graves. So it's usually old stories, old baggage, old stuff that's been buried for a while. And what happens is that when this angel of judgment comes with this trumpet, he blows the trumpet and everyone wakes up, everyone is free, everyone is let go, everyone is called up to heaven or to the afterlife. So really what this card is about, even in the word judgment, is having release, making a judgment that releases the old baggage of the past. Whenever I see this card, I think of the Egyptian goddess Ma'at, where she weighed the souls against a feather. She would put your soul on one side of this is according to Egyptian tradition. She would put your soul on one side of the scales and a feather on the other side. And if it was light enough, you could get into their version of heaven or the afterlife. So this judgment is really about the similar things. It's saying, be light, let go of the baggage, let your heart be free, let your soul be free, release and forgive judgments and old stories of the past. Let it be gone. Let that old heavy baggage go. Be released of this world. So when I usually do read judgment as forgiveness. So when you have judgment in reverse, it's saying to me that you're either being judged unfairly. Usually that'll happen more with justice, or that you're using judgment in a way that is not appropriate, that's being judging of others, or that you may be having a hard time forgiving yourself or someone else. Because usually when this card appears in the upright, it's forgiveness being employed. It's saying time to forgive, time to blow that trumpet and burn away old stories of the past, release things. When it's in the reverse position, it's saying, I want to hold on. I'm having a hard time letting go. I want to keep those things buried. I'm literally not willing to bury the hatchet. I'm holding on. I'm holding a grudge. That's what I'm going to say. So be careful, Scorpio, for June, of holding on to a grudge, or if someone's holding on to a grudge with you, you may have to just forgive them and let go. In either case, whether it's you or it's them, forgiveness is going to help you, but there may, in the reverse position, that usually dictates some doubt, fear, or resistance. So it's saying you may be resisting forgiving them. You may be doubting or fearing the ability to do that. Whatever's going on, I'm going to say forgiveness is the way to go. It's the way to lighten things up. It's the way to set things free, both yourself and others. So that's my general message for June. That's your central card for June. See how you can go forward by employing, it's not easy, but employing that fire of forgiveness. It burns away all the old stories and it lets things be free. It frees you and it frees everyone else too. In the shadow position, this is Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So it's a card of change. And when it's in the reverse positions, it may be like resistance to change. When it's in the upright position like this, it means that change is just happening naturally. Things are evolving, time is taking its course, seasons are changing, everything is kind of on time. All the trains are running on time, schedules happening on time, things are evolving naturally. When it's in the reverse position and in the shadow position, there's some sort of resistance, delay. Either things are going too fast or they're going too slow. They're not happening naturally. It's like forcing something or holding something back. So it's not allowing the natural course of time to happen. There's either fear, doubt, or resistance to letting things unfold naturally as they want to. So when I see this, I want to ask you, are you pushing things? Are you holding things back? Is there a rush or is there a delay? Is there a way that what is the fear, doubt, or resistance to letting things happen in their natural course of time? I'm getting, what is that song by that group Genesis, like you have to let things happen on their own. I forget what the name of that song is, but it's sort of like, let things happen on their own. You know, there's a time and a place for things. There's also that song that says, every season, change, turn, turn, turn. You know, there's a time and place for everything. So let that unfold naturally, Scorpio. If there's anything that's going on where it feels like a rush or it feels like a delay, let it happen naturally. That's what Wheel of Fortune says, especially in reverse. Time will take care of it. Time is doing its own thing, but it may be happening below your consciousness. It may be happening in the shadows, but the wheel is turning. Let it turn. What's passing away is something related to the home. This is Four of Wands, which usually has to do with celebrations, festivities. Sometimes this is the marriage arbor that people get married under. Usually this could be like leaving a home or leaving stability and security behind. For some of you, you guys may be really like going off into a new adventure. This is Knight of Wands, which is all about daring, confidence, boldness, new adventure, new energy, taking risks. So for some of you, I'm getting leaving security behind and going off on this bold, grand new adventure, being risk-taking. So it's just something about the home, maybe leaving the home behind, there's something that's passing away. If some of you have been staying at home a lot, that's going to be passing away. This could be also leaving the parents' home or selling a home. That could very well be a possibility, and it frees you up to have new energy to go off on your new adventures. In the reverse position, there's a high side and a low side to Knight of Wands. On the high side, he's very passionate. He's full of energy and enthusiasm. He's courageous. He's daring. You can see the horse is up on two legs here. It's like, let's go. I've got lots of fire. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm ready to go on this journey, this trip, this adventure. In the reverse position, it says, be careful of going too far, too fast. Like it's saying, don't be aggressive. Don't be, it's too much fire energy, so it tends to burn things. So be careful of not like jumping into out of the frying pan and into the fire. Be courageous, but don't be foolhardy. You know, it's saying use the feeling of the Knight of Wands to give you courage, daring, boldness, passion, confidence, believing in yourself, but don't be, the low side of this card is being aggressive, being cocky, being arrogant, using too much fire energy. So use the energy of Knight of Wands to drive you forward, to go on those new adventures, to be daring, to have confidence, but don't go overboard. Sometimes this can show up as anger. So be careful that it doesn't go into too much fire because that's what's coming in. Hangman is what your highlight card is. So this means accepting that you have your own unique way of doing things, that you may not do things the way that everyone else does, and getting comfortable with that. He hangs upside down, which is a 180 from how everyone else sees things, but he gets enlightenment through that perspective. It feels uncomfortable. It looks different from everyone else. He's hanging upside down, so it takes some adjusting, but through accepting himself and his own unique way, he actually gets enlightenment because he sees things from a 180. He sees things from a completely different perspective. So when this card is highlighted for you in June, which it is, it's saying embrace your own way of doing things. If it's different from everyone else, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Do it your way. You know, be the rebel. Be accepting of the fact that you may not conform to everyone else's standards and rules. He bucks the system and he's okay with that. So get comfortable with expanding your comfort zone, with doing things differently, even if it doesn't conform to what everyone else does or what you think everyone else wants you to do. That's highlighted for you this month, Scorpio. So I'm going to say, go forward with whatever plans you have. Knight of Wands, courageous, daring, bold. but don't go overboard. Like if it's causing anger or friction or aggression, then don't do it. Just chill out, peace out. You know, that's what Hangman's about. He hangs upside down and is like, let me think about this. Let me look at this from a different perspective. Let me figure out what my way is. Instead of pushing boldly and brashly through it, he hangs upside down and thinks about it. So I'm kind of actually getting for some of you that instead of being engaged in any conflict, use forgiveness and go your own way, do your own thing, but do it in a peaceful way. Let Hangman give you a new perspective. For week 1, things could happen very quickly and very rapidly. That's 8 of Wands here. 8 of Wands means receiving the last piece of information. It's when things are 80 to 90% lined up. It's sort of got the feeling of like when a pot of water is boiling and or heating and it hasn't boiled yet, but it's just about to boil. So it means that things are happening and it's 80 to 90% done, and it just needs that last push, that last puzzle piece for it to line completely up. So this means things are almost ready to happen. Things can happen quickly. You get that last piece of information that helps you unlock the puzzle. It's that last puzzle piece that helps you finally complete it. It's almost completion is one of the terms for this card, as well as things happening swiftly, rapidly. You guys might be going really fast at the beginning of June. And that's possibly what this wheel in reverse has to do with. It could be like things are spinning out of control. Things are going really fast. So if it's going really fast, slow it down. If it's in delay, just allow it to happen naturally because it's almost complete here. In week 2, I call this card picking up the pieces. This is 5 of Swords. So this is a card after the battle has happened, and swords represent the air element, which is knowledge, wisdom, understanding, ideas, beliefs, thoughts. This is like collecting the information and the rewards after the battle has happened. So sometimes I'll read this card as hindsight is 20/20, when you are clear about why the battle happened, what insights, what wisdom, what knowledge you have collected from that battlefield. Sometimes too, 5 of Swords mean that there's something that's untrustworthy about this person. They are an opportunist. So it can mean just be aware that, be aware of the theme of self-interest, whether that's yourself or someone else. Usually this brings up, am I being self-interested enough, or am I being too self-interested? What is your relationship to considering your own interests versus the interests of others? Are you protecting that? Are you doing that too much? Is someone else doing that too much or not enough? That's the question that is raised by this 5 of Swords card. So it's saying gain insight and wisdom from the battlefield. There's swords laying on the ground for you to pick up if you take the time to go get them. And be aware of the theme of self-interest in week 2. It's in the upright position, so it's saying that there is something to be gained here, but just be aware of it is what it's saying. In week 3, I show Temperance in reverse. Now, Temperance is a card that has to do with balance, with moderation, with feeling equally balanced between feeling grounded. She has 1 foot on the ground, and emotionally grounded. She's got 1 foot in the water here. So it means finding compromise. You can see that the angels pouring 2 cups between one another. So it's saying it's not all that way and it's not all this way. There's middle ground. We're going to combine this. It's going to be something new because it's the fusion of 2 things. And it can also be a card of creation and synthesis, creating something new out of 2 opposites. And it usually is about peace too and compromise. With this card of Judgment here in the center, I'm going to say in week 3 especially, you'll be able to find compromise. Look at this. This is that same angel. It's the angel of peace. So peace is available to you if you can find the compromise and if you can employ forgiveness here. So it may be difficult when cards are in the reverse. It's saying that there's some sort of doubt, fear, or resistance to letting that happen. But here is the angel of peace showing up for you. It's showing up in reverse. So it's saying there may be a resistance or unwillingness, but it is there. And if you can employ moderation, the middle path, compromise, you get, again, this enlightenment. So work with that, Scorpio. That's available to you, especially in week 3, that middle ground, especially too after you have considered things and gotten these wisdom and insights from the conflict or the battle. You're going to be able to figure it out if you're open to it, and if the other person's open to it. It's showing up here. And this too, 6 of Wands, is victory. In the last week of June, this is success, victory, recognition, the person who's capable, the person who comes in to save the day. You'll notice here that there's 2 victory laurels. It's almost like you found success and you're bringing success to someone else. So I'm really seeing this as getting victory, getting success, but you're going to have, because it's in reverse, you're going to have to employ this forgiveness, this compromise to get there. Once you turn this around, which is that spiritual fire of forgiveness, these 2 will turn around as well. Your opportunity for finding that middle ground, that compromise, that peace, that sort of negotiation, that agreement. And that's victory and success for all parties involved. And that's where you get the recognition as the person who comes in and saves the day. This may even be a mediator who is able to provide the victory for all. So be open to that, Scorpio. It's there if you so choose it. You may just need to remove any doubt, fear, or resistance to that happening. And you may have to slow things down. You may have to allow things to develop naturally. It's with wheel in reverse, it's saying things are going too fast or too slow. So you may have to just use Hangman to chill, to like look at things from a different perspective. Things will happen quickly in week 1. So I'm just going to say, pursue your own thing. Use the boldness, the confidence, the courage of Knight of Wands. Be careful of not going into anger or aggression. That's the low side of Knight of Wands. And employ forgiveness. That's really going to help you this month, Scorpio.